There are two types of speech. One is direct speech and the another one is indirect speech. First of all, we will discuss about the direct speech. In the direct speech, reporting exact words. In the direct speech, quotation marks are used. If we take the example of direct speech, he said, I am happy. You can see clearly quotation marks are used in the example. While in the indirect speech, we don't use quotation marks, reporting what someone said without quoting them. If we take the example of the indirect speech, example, he said that he was happy. You can clearly see there were no quotation marks used in the indirect speech. Next, move toward the golden rules of indirect speech. First one is remove quotation marks. Means in the indirect speech we don't use any kind of quotation marks. Second one is use that between reporting and reported class. Third one is change tenses. Tense goes one step back. Fourth one is change pronouns, time, word change. While the fifth one is no quotation marks are used. If we take the example, today converted into that day, now converted into then, etc. Use if, that, to, where needed. Next, move toward the tense back shift if reporting verb is past. Now we will discuss how we will convert the direct speech into the indirect speech. If the tense used in the direct speech is present simple, then we will use the past simple tense in the indirect speech. If the present continuous tense used in the direct speech, then we will use the past continuous tense in the indirect speech. If the tense is present perfect, then we will use past perfect tense in the indirect speech. While if the past simple tense is used in the direct speech, then we will use the past perfect tense in the indirect speech. Now we will discuss the some examples of direct and indirect speech. Let's move toward the first example. First example will be present simple tense in the direct speech, and when we will convert this tense in the indirect speech, then we will use the past simple tense. Example, she said, I go to the school. This is the direct speech. Why we will use the past simple tense in the indirect speech. She said that she went to the school. You can see clearly there is no quotation mark in the indirect speech. He said, I am eating. Now we will use the past continuous tense in the indirect speech. He said that he was eating. You can clearly see there is no quotation marks and we use the past continuous tense in the indirect speech. Next, move toward the example questions. Direct and indirect speech. Yes, no questions. Use if, whether. In the direct speech, she asked, do you like tea? In the indirect speech, she asked if I like tea. Next, move toward the next question. Why question? Use the question word. In the direct speech, if the question is, he asked, where are you going? You can clearly see in the direct speech we use the quotation marks, while in the indirect speech he asked where I am going. You can clearly see there is no quotation marks in this question. Now we will take the examples of commands and request. Imperative command and negative imperative. In the direct speech, we will use the sentence, she said, close the door. This is the imperative, means command tense. In the indirect speech, we will use the tense, she told me to close the door. Let's take the another example. Negative imperative means don't. In the direct speech, he said don't talk, while in the indirect speech, we will use the tense, he told me not to talk. Next, move toward the easy key to remember. There are some rules and examples of direct and indirect speech. First rule is present, say past. I eat. Example, he said he eat. If the tense is present, then we will convert into the past tense in the indirect speech. And the second one is MR will be converted into was were. If the example is I am working, then the indirect speech she said she was working. Next rule is pronouns change. Example, I like it. Example of indirect speech, he said he like it. Next, move toward the last rule. Today convert into that day. Now convert into then. If the example is I will go today, then in the indirect speech she said she
Thanks for
would go
watching.
that day.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you. Subscribe and like and share the bell icon button.